Oh boy. Goodness. What is it? Let's kick things off here with personally my least favorite repair that we do here. Shoot. Oh, I have my knife. Yeah, we are going to start off with a bricked HomePod repair. Alright, got my knife. Yeah, these are the ones with the blinking volume buttons. And the reason why I hate these ones the most is because by my definition it's not a real repair what we're doing. All we're doing is swapping an entire piece of hardware, the logic board, with another logic board that still works, presumably over just a faulty software issue. And there's no, Apple still hasn't graced us with the permissions to pull that restore file from their server, unlike every other product. So, you can imagine getting your hands on parts to fix this particular issue is getting more and more difficult and expensive. Alright, let's go ahead and just take a quick peek here. I expect it to, turn on here. And it would take a few minutes, but it would eventually show the blinking volume buttons. We're not going to wait around to prove whether they were telling the truth or not. We're pretty confident they correctly diagnosed this. So we're going to get this apart and see if it just needs a new logic board. That's this fellow right here. That's a good one. Or if it needs a little extra attention while we've got it apart too. We'll take a peek at all the other things that more commonly fail on these HomePods, like the no power issue caused by the bad batch of Schottky diodes, or death farts caused by dying ceramic capacitors. Sorry, I thought we had an intruder. I'm home alone at the moment. Alright, there's the presumably bad board. We'll pop that in the pile. And we will sanity check that this works with our replacement logic board. There you go. This is connected to my home, so it's gonna try to play music. I'm not gonna let it. Alright, so we know that it's just the logic board causing their problems. Let's dig a little deeper, like I was talking about earlier, and take a peek at all the other common problem areas really quick. See if there's anything else we need to do to this. 6K dated diodes, so we don't need to worry about any power issues with this one. Let's check our offset. Yeah, we've got an excellent offset as well. So, this sad little HomePod was only brought down by that software. All right. Just gonna give ourselves a little reminder to reset that one before we send it out. It is paired to my test home, so that way I, can make sure these things are actually working and up to date. Excuse me. Beautiful. On to the next one. We've got Robert. Let's see if we can find Robert. I cannot find Robert. Oh. Email. Yes. We found you. This is Robert's HomePod with no power. After that, we'll look at, I believe, Jonah down there. Okay, what's Robert got here? The usual power draw for a dead diode, no other behavior. So, let's dig in. Hey, welcome to the stream. Fixed the diode, but the panic log shows a sensor issue. Were you the same person that posted in our Discord server? Someone said take a look at the website for information on the microphone board. Usually what happens is people break a component off of the microphone board. I personally have never ran into the issue that you're describing, but make sure everything's properly connected, make sure there isn't any physical damage. If it was a dead diode, then it's almost certain, if the original issue was a dead diode, then it's almost certainly your new problem was self-inflicted. But here's your microphone board right here, so take a peek at that, see if you broke anything off or you forgot to fully connect something all the way in. Alright, amplifier out. What's that date code? Another 46K here. Let's get that taken care of. Alright, had a solder ball stuck in there. Don't want that floating around. You broke off the ribbon going to the service port. Oh, I see. Okay, so the ribbon going to the logic board and going into the amplifier is fine, but you tore it. You tore it further down there. It's possible. I wonder if that should be fine. As a matter of fact, if you look at our cable that we use to test repairs outside of the HomePod, this is my test cable, and I actually, I just straight up cut that end off because I only need the part that goes into the amplifier and the logic board and the microphone board. So, in theory, that should be fine. But also, if it's damaged in the right way, it could be shorting various lines out and causing your issues. So maybe you need to do a straight horizontal cut and cut the torn part of that cable off and see if that helps. But it would also, obviously it would be the best. It would be the best scenario if you had a second set of HomePod parts, so that way you can confirm whether or not the issue is, if it's the logic cable, if it's the logic board, or the microphone board, or the amplifier. You can start swapping parts around between a known good and known bad setup, and at least nail down what part in particular is causing the issue, and then you can go from there. Save yourself a lot of guesswork. There we go. Some power. Hey, another name in the chat. Welcome, welcome. All right, we've got life. We've got a great offset. So all this needed was that diode replacement. I am perfectly happy with that. Nobody likes surprise filter changes. Even broken ones are not cheap. Yeah, man, tell me about it. It's almost as if somebody shined a big spotlight on how fixable a lot of these problems are, and suddenly they gained a bunch of value. I wonder whose fault that is. Alright, let's see what's up with Jonah's HomePod here. I deserve a lot more than one view. I appreciate that. Frankly, I don't think I'm very entertaining, and there's only so much you can do with the same repair over and over again, but we do what we can with what we got. We are out of beer, so the jokes are pretty dry today. Okay, so Jonah's HomePod cuts out... Oh, it doesn't seem to be getting any power. Easy peasy. Alright, after Jonah, we're gonna get... Actually, I think that's the last one. Yeah. Alright.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Do we ever do laptops? I generally don't, and that's mostly because I wouldn't be able to do it for any less than any of the other shops out there with more experience working on like MacBooks and laptops and what have you. You know, I still do. You know, level 2, level 3, the kind of stuff I teach for friends and family if they need a new hard drive or battery or virus or software help, then we can help with that. But our specialty is the HomePod. Other people got us beat in the repair of other devices like laptops and phones. We can't really compete in that field. But there aren't very many people out there fixing these bad boys. So, could I answer a question for you? I cannot answer that question without knowing what the question is. You are welcome to shoot your shot, my guy. Hold on, how much power draw did that have there? Yep, looks like a dead diode for this one too, so let's get this knocked out. Oh, boy, those get stickier every day, I swear. The support metal is broken. That does not sound fun. Yeah, usually the metal inside of laptops is actually like a magnesium alloy. It's very tricky to get any sort of glue to keep it together, especially if it's like a hinge for the lid. Ah, you stripped a screw. Oh boy. Oh boy. With a stripped screw, your best bet is either drilling it out, very carefully of course with a drill bit, or you might be able to, depending on where it's at, you might be able to lightly hammer, like take a bit that's slightly bigger than the size of the screw and kind of like hammer tap it in there to kind of create a new slot in the screw for yourself to loosen it. But you might be able to find some more techniques. That's about honestly all I've got, because I haven't encountered too many stripped screws myself yet. But you might find some other techniques and tricks online if you just search how to extract broken screw from, or how to extract stripped screw from laptop. Maybe some other people have come up with some creative solutions. You might be able to like take your, if you've got a soldering iron, you might be able to solder a sacrificial screw tip or a screw bit to it. So like take something like one of these and solder it to the stripped screw, and then you might be able to get it out, loosen it that way. Yeah, the part that you screw into is all broken off. It almost sounds like you're just gonna have to source a replacement frame and just move all of the guts into a new frame or shell. Hard to say, but that's about as much as I can help with you on that here in the chat. If you want to try to dig into it a little more, you're welcome to shoot me an email. I need to know the model of the laptop that you're working with, and I need pictures of what we're dealing with here, what your damage is, and then we might be able to help you out, see if we can't find you some replacement parts. Or you might have to like go on eBay and just search for a whole broken 4 parts of repair version of the laptop that you've got of the same model, and then just have all the other extra parts as spares or something. Yeah, Sinks. I can't stop our repairs right now and hop on Google to look up your laptop and your info, but email me and we will be able to. We are on a time crunch here and now, but it's an HP Pavilion. I can tell you there's probably broken ones on eBay for sale. You could just take the screen off and plug it into an external monitor too. That would be the quickest, easiest, and cheapest fix, of course. But then it's no longer a laptop, right? Yeah, there's no reason you can't just rip the display off, or if the display itself is still fine and it's just not physically attached to the laptop, you can just, you know, like you could just mount the whole thing to a wall there or something. I've definitely done that like 18-ish years ago. I can't believe I'm saying that. When I was in like middle and high school, my friends and I would always take like crappy or broken laptops, like those tiny little Asus ePCs, those little netbooks. The display hinges on those never lasted, and so you'd end up more often than not with two halves of a laptop. But what I did usually myself was I would just duct tape the two halves to the wall of my room and just have like a video camera running on it, like surveillance cameras or something. I think I actually still have those bits. Get that hair out of there. Oh yeah. Here we go. Give me power. Yes. Another one with perfect looking stats. Ready to put this back together and get out of here. You pulled the display cable and saw a spark. Ouch. I'm curious, does it... So if you leave the internal display unplugged and you turn the laptop on and you plug in an external display, does that work at all, at least? When you say spark after pulling the display cable, that makes me nervous you shorted the internal graphics card and killed it. But at the same time, the laptop has a 9th Gen i5H and an NVIDIA GPU, so it should have... You've got two chances there. You've got two different GPUs. You've got the integrated on the Intel processor and the dedicated NVIDIA one. So with any luck, at least one of those will still work and let you use an external monitor. The other potential problem might be that the laptop's BIOS is configured to default to the internal display, so it might keep trying to use that until you unplug it, and even then you might have to find a way to change it if it's for some reason only using the internal display, even if it's disconnected. Yeah, computers are great, man. Unfortunately, yeah, he's right. That's a common thing people do. Your mileage, of course, varies. That's why I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. But Bart's experience is perfectly valid, and it very well may be yours too if you try that. If the stuff's already broken beyond repair, then by all means, the epoxy is going to probably do better than nothing. You've got nothing to lose. But of course, you know, always a good idea to disconnect all of the power sources, the battery, the power adapter, of course. If it's got a CMOS or BIOS battery, like one of those button cell batteries, it'd behoove you to disconnect that too, just to be super safe whenever you're working on your laptop. And then of course, if you did have all that disconnected and you still had that spark with no power connected to it, one thing you want to do after you disconnect the power from something is, you know, spam the power button and a few other keys a bunch of times and make sure you've fully drained the juice out of everything inside. But in the end, you know, even if you broke it, it's not the end of the world. It's a learning experience. And boy, do I have a lot of those. Don't let it stop you from trying to fix stuff in the future. Hey man, it's alright. I wouldn't say you're dumb just because you say that you feel dumb for doing it. It takes a smart person to recognize when they made a mistake. And now you know. You're armed with the knowledge. If and when you encounter issues similar to this again, you know what to do. But do a little troubleshooting still. See what still works. See if you can get any life out of it. And if it's completely, totally not working for you, I guess the worst case scenario, you could sell it for parts itself. Someone else will be interested in it. And you can put that money towards your new PC budget. You'd be surprised what you can, if you're looking for like a desktop, building your own custom desktop PC, you'd be surprised what you can build for very little money. And also everything's just come so far. But there's two resources I like to look at when I'm building a desktop. Logicalincrements.com gives you a bunch of good starting points for different budgets. Pretty much any budget you can imagine, logicalincrements.com can give you a recommended set of parts to max that budget out, get the most for your money. And then, once you know what parts you need within a budget, then you can head over to buildapc.com and see where you can buy those parts for as cheap as possible, and make sure that everything is all compatible with each other. And that's it. I'm done. We're done. hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. Sinks, I wish you the best of luck on your laptop endeavors. And everyone else, I hope you enjoyed this live stream repair. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye. Speak. Do the thing. Say it. Say it. Come on. I know you're not going to connect. Stop wasting your time. Boy, do I hate how they changed this in OS 17. They make them wait for. There we go.
To the inner.
They make you wait forever before they actually start talking to you now. Beautiful. Volume buttons are light up nice and even. All right, we're out of here. Peace, folks.